Everybody, we've got a new set as well.
No way.
The comments were brutal. You lot are brutal. We love you all really, but thank you for all your suggestions.
Don't say that because you're just teeing them up to have another go this
So
week.
we got a sofa back. It's a lovely sofa at that as well. It's a 5-seater sofa.
It's come from your house, hasn't it?
Yeah, my brother's built a lovely plinth that we can all stand on and stuff like that. We think we'd nailed it, yeah?
I don't know.
Benty, first impressions?
Love it. Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, I'm a guest here, so I was never going to walk in the door and go, what have you lot done in here? But I do like it. It's
comfy, isn't it?
Class,
yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. So can you all let us know? Only if you like it, just let us know. Anything else, I don't care.
Save the negativity.
Take your negativity elsewhere. Should we start with Ipswich Man United then, lads?
Tractor boys, your lot, Benty.
Yeah, good result. I thought they played really well. I think it was unfortunate they didn't get all 3 points, if I'm honest. The whole kind of day was built around Ruben Amorim. Yeah. And rightly so, Man United, one of the biggest teams in the world, but I thought Ipswich completely schooled them yesterday. I think if you look at possession, I think Man United shaded it, but in terms of clear-cut chances, I think if you're Kieran McKenna and the Ipswich Town players at the end of the game, you're thinking, how have we not won that? I mean, the lap's been brilliant all season.
Talk about your running stat, Watto.
Yeah, I noticed at the end of the game, because obviously his stats from sport in Lisbon, he was like a machine. His running stats, high intensity running, and the post-game, Ipswich ran 6k more than Man United.
Yeah.
But if you're Man United, and I don't think they're anywhere near a top 10 team with the players they've got in that group, but ultimately, when a new manager's in situ, what you normally give is your running stats would be off the charts, you know. And I think he will look at that today and think, I've got a lot to do. He's already tried to buy a year just in his first interview post-game.
Did you notice any difference between Man United from a couple of weeks ago?
That's quite funny, right? I did laugh because I thought, because obviously they had Ten Hag and obviously he looked like he sucked the life out of the place. Then they got the bounce of Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
I did always wonder, well, can you get a double bounce?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Can you bounce from Ruud? Can you bounce into...
Again, higher up again.
And it looked to me like it was almost like all right, here we go again. Like the first, minute when they scored the goal, I'm thinking, okay, here we go. But after that, it was flat. There was no real patterns of play. I think the 3-4-3 is going to take a bit of time to kind of nail that down. But I still would have expected more oomph from a side that's got a new manager. The cameras were there. It was almost like a bit of a circus around the whole Amorim things. But no, for me, I just didn't see anything that would suggest that, okay, they're going to go and put a run together top four.
You guys have been in football, Ben, you've been in football clubs, obviously, for a very, very, very long time, right? Having spent, a week with the guys, you're not going to notice it in game one, are you?
No, you're not. You can start to sort of implement things for sure, but I think for me, the main thing has to be the work rate, like Watto says there. If you are going to play a different formation, 3-4-3, cool, right? But you still need to raise the work level then. The bar has to be set higher, doesn't it, right? Yeah. And I just didn't see it on Saturday. I just thought, I agree with you completely. I thought Ipswich were probably the better team. Yeah. Even looking at the stats, the XG, we're not massive on XG, are we?
Yeah,
but
it's high.
XG for Ipswich was 2.06. Man United was 0.98 or something like that. And that, for the first game in charge, I just think, no, you can't have that.
But it's like the players, though, Watto, you said, and the running. Yeah. Are Casemiro and Christian Eriksen going to give you that?
No, they're not, are they? And we've all been in clubs, as well, for me as a coach and as a player, when managers have lost their jobs, and especially international break, it's renowned for it, isn't it? So he tried to say, look, I've gone with a team who I've worked with a little bit more than the other guys who have obviously been chasing around the planet to play for their countries and that. So he hasn't had much time with that. But what I found really interesting was I was watching the warm-up before the game, and he'd got the back five against a five, but it was like a possession practice, really trying to get and playing a tight offside line and bits. And he was just trying to buy time, even before the game, just to try and gel something with it. And it obviously will take time. He spoke post the game. Like Johnny Evans, obviously, is more wary of what's happening behind him than in front, and he was quite critical that he never went in to go and engage. But he's probably never defended like that, really front foot, right up, because he's worried about what they're leaving behind. And as I said previously, he's already talking a year down the line. Look, Man United are Man United wherever you see them, but the players that are on that pitch, that 11, are nowhere near capable, and there's so many teams better than them.
Do you know what it was? Even as a reaction, I think you'll kind of forgive him for the tactical element because a week's really not that long enough. But I expected to just see people, a little bit like schoolboy football where they're just flying around everywhere because they're so excited, getting after him. There was just none of that either. In possession, Ipswich was just keeping it, playing around them, and I think he's got a big couple of transfer windows, and it's not necessarily who can get in. I think he's got to get some out, and that's going to be the problem because they've all got long contracts, they're all on big money. How do you get them out of there?
No chance. You're not going anywhere.
That's the problem.
You're not going anywhere because any of these players on massive contracts, right? No team are ever going to match that wage. Ever,
No one
ever,
wants
ever.
them in the,
No.
the other thing. No one will touch them.
Nobody wants them. The players aren't going to drop their wages to go and play somewhere like that. So they're stuck. It's a conundrum, isn't it? A massive
What
conundrum.
about a couple of players I want to talk about there? What about Onana? So, just from a layman's point of view, it seems like this season he knows where the sticks are in relation to the football pitch.
Positionally, you
Yeah.
know. I like the way you say that. That's super disrespectful.
You know what I mean?
I know what you said. Fair play to him. I think this season he has stepped up massively. It's taken a bit of a transition getting him into the Premier League and getting him used to playing in a different team. I think when you first saw him, when he first came over, he was trying to play this Ajax way of standing on the halfway line and being a bit of a clever bugger, really. Yeah. And it's not really Man United's style, and it doesn't work in the Premier League. It really doesn't, unless you're a massively dominating team. But I think he's just settled into a nice little position now, nice little routine, and he's making massive saves. The save from Delap, honestly, it was a goal.
Great save or poor finish?
Well, that's a great save. Are you for real?
Poor finish,
You're
mate.
a centre forward.
Oh, Benty.
You're saying
It's got to keep it low.
What, would you go for the legs there?
Both.
Yeah.
It was both.
Oh, really?
Delap's got a
World-class goalkeeper.
Ah, come on, Fozzie.
He can only save where it's put, can't he?
No, it's an amazing save, but when Delap looks at it, as you know, just be calm in that
Yeah,
one
just
moment.
slot it.
And just because it's past him, you've got
Right
no
down the middle of the
reaction
goal. Just there.
But the goalie can't do any more. He's come out big, head position.
Talk about Delap then. You've
brilliant.
watched a lot of Ipswich this year, haven't you?
Very
what's
good.
he been like?
Attributes strong. We saw it in the first game of the season against Liverpool, how strong he can be, powerful runner, scores goals. I mean, he'll look back at that yesterday and go, how have I not scored a couple? I mean, the second one's hard because he's tried to flick it, but that first one, just keep it low when he scores.
Yeah.
But his all-round game, I mean, he must be a nightmare to play against because he's backing him.
He's a bit of a throwback, isn't he?
He is a throwback, but he's got modern day attributes. But he's a throwback. He'll pin defenders. He'll make it difficult for them. And I think when they paid the money for him, which I think was just under 20 million, I did think,
Is he a little bit like what I said to you before the show, didn't I? I said, is he a little bit like a Haaland? Is he that big sort of brash bruiser sort of striker, but will just get on the end of anything and try and put it in the back of the net?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
He's got a bit of techers though, at least, hasn't he? He has got a bit of techers. Not that Haaland doesn't.
No,
That's what I mean. Not that Haaland doesn't.
yeah, I know what you're saying in terms of they're both powerful runners, both very good in the air, both can score goals, and they both can finish. But so I can see the similarities, but I just think he's young, he's learning his trade still, and he'll get better and better.
Yeah.
And I think if Ipswich stay up this season, which I think they can do, I think he'll be one of the main reasons as to why, because I think he'll get goals. I think he'll get between 50, I think if he can get to 15,
massive.
Ipswich have got a massive chance of staying up. And he's got 6 already, so...
He's a bit of a bully as well. Like when he's done Mazraoui, he's got no respect, and I like that as well. And I thought fair play, but I look at him, look at the bloke, and you think he wouldn't look out of place as an inside centre at Twickenham.
Yeah.
He's built.
Who's winning that fight out of Mazraoui and Delap, lads? Delap's having it all
yeah,
day
of
long.
course, yeah.
Delap he did
All
not give
day
it nothing, did he? He was brilliant. I loved it. Yeah, I do. I like him. I think he'll do well this season.
So
If he gets
Ipswich-
15 anyway.
Ipswich going to stay up.
I'd like to think so. I mean, I'm always going to say they're going to stay up because this is my club, but it's going to be difficult. But I think they've shown, other than that, off memory, only the West Ham game they really got kind of destroyed.
battered,
Even when you look at the City game, they score first, they do well. Liverpool, up until half-time, are playing well. They've been in pretty much all the games. But they'll take massive confidence from that game against United, but also they'll think, what could have been if they'd have taken their chances?
I've got a question for you, Watto.
Yep.
At what point, how many games do Man City need to lose before there's a rumble?
What, pressure? Pep under pressure?
I don't want to say the words.
Well,
I'm just saying, how many games would they have to lose?
I think they're already there, aren't they?
Are they?
Pep is not. Pep can't be
He's
under
not.
pressure. Lad.
Here's the best stat for me. Has there ever been another manager get a 2-year contract when you've just lost 4 games?
In a row.
Ever. Can't have been.
No, but
Any.
this one 4 on the bounce.
Yeah.
6 and 8 years. I mean,
Yeah.
if they get rid of him now, which they won't,
No.
or even the murmurs, first of all, if he left tomorrow, he's getting a job by Wednesday.
Yes,
First
later
of all.
that day.
Exactly. And also, who are they going to get who's better than him?
No chance. It's
No chance.
If they lost 2, let's just hypothetically say, very unlikely, but if they lost 2 more, What then?
They could lose every game from now to the end of the season. He's not under.
What, relegated? Man City get relegated?
Not relegated. If they survive, he's not going anywhere. There's going to be no murmurings whatsoever about him going anywhere.
This game was bonkers, lads, right? Man City had chances in the game, right? Vicario had a fantastic game for Spurs, some really good saves, just looked nice, calm and composed. Haaland a little bit wasteful, a little bit unlucky as well, but Spurs just ruthless at times, weren't they? When they got the opportunity to put the ball in the back of the net, that's exactly what they did. Looked nice and calm with it. Maddison, fantastic. It was a good game to watch, wasn't it?
I loved it, and look, Maddison, we made the point off air, or you made the point off air, obviously not being away with the national team. Yeah. He's away in Dubai, has a couple of games of golf, bit of relaxation, comes back with a smile on his face.
He looked a million, didn't he? Yeah.
And he just played with, obviously, class, honestly, pure class, but the energy he showed, because that's sometimes where you'd question him, he's running off the ball. I mean, the second goal, it's actually all about the run off the ball. I know Son plays him an unbelievable pass in the finish, but that's where you'd have questioned him sometimes. He wants to be the quarterback. After he played it, he'd have sat there, get it back, but no, he's run and chased after. I thought he was phenomenal. Talk
about that second goal quickly, Benty. How good technically was it from James Maddison, sorting his feet out?
I mean, it's lovely. I mean, the reverse pass from Son's fantastic.
Yeah.
I even thought he was going to pull the trigger and then to reverse it there, but it's just a little kind of movement with his right and then a little stab into the ground. I mean, it's an unbelievable finish, right? But it's one of those finishes where that's the only option.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So as a goalkeeper, you're almost thinking, well, I should let that in because it's all he can do.
Yeah.
But it's still a fantastic
Edison
finish.
came flying out, didn't he? So
rapid.
He's done. But Fozzie, we were talking off camera, like, how good do you think Maddison is? Because that run, I don't think many players in the Premier League would have that kind of vision to make that run.
I think the problem that he's got at Spurs is what Postecoglou expects from him. I think Postecoglou, first and foremost, wants every single one of them players on the pitch to just work their trees off, give it everything they've got, die a death by the end of 75, 80 minutes, I'll happily bring you up. And I think that's the bit there that Maddison sometimes lacks a little bit, is maybe just that work rate all the way over.
I think out of possession.
Out of possession probably is the bit that really irks Postecoglou as well, because everybody knows that that's where you will concede goal. If you're not working back and helping your team out, you're going to concede goals. So I think that's a bit there that if you can improve on that, you'll see him every single week starting for Tottenham and scoring goals like he did. But quickly, just going back to goals as well, is the contacts, yeah? Look how many contacts. There's goalies, we always look at contacts with your feet, Benty, right? And the amount of tiny little contacts he got just to sort his feet out so that he could do that little dink over Edison. And I guarantee you Edison would have been thinking, I've got him here. I've got him. He hasn't even looked at me here. I'm watching his eyes. He hasn't even looked at me here. And he's got this little dink and it's over his shoulder there, and there's nothing that you can do as a goalie.
Yeah, beautiful finish. But he's got that Maddison. He's got that technique. He can finish with both feet. We've seen him be doing it for years. But I think the only thing, as you said there, Foz, and I agree with you, holding him back is just out of possession. Because that tends to be the change they always make. If he starts, it's him off, Sarr on.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
One thing about Sarr is he's just got legs. He gets about the pitch. That's the only thing that, if Maddison could sort that part of his game out in terms of out of possession, he'll be back in that England squad before you know it. Although that 10 is...
Yeah. We've got so much talent, but you think him and Palmer are probably two that see things that most don't.
Yeah. Look at what Palmer does off the ball. Again, the reason why Palmer probably starts every single day is with work rate as well, though. Nowadays in football, you've got to obviously be a very good footballer, but work rate is the most important thing. I promise you it is. For managers, they need to know that a player is going to give you 99.9% all the way through the game, because they'll always revert to that player. If it's a 50-50 between a Sarr or a Maddison, which one's going to work harder for me today? Boom, I'll go for you.
What about that front line at Spurs, Fozzie? You were as a youngster, a Spurs fan, weren't you? You've got, obviously, Sonny, Solanke, Kulusevski.
Yeah, Kulusevski.
Then you've got Johnson coming on, who scored,
brilliant.
6 in 9 or 6 in 8, something like that. They look
as usual, Sonny just goes under the radar. He just goes about his business, works hard, does it properly, scores goals, gets assists, and it's just sort of expected, really. Nobody really links him with a 50. It's the way that it goes. It's absolutely fine. Solanke's come in, and I think even though he hasn't scored the goals, and a lot of people just want to look at stats and look at goals scored.
I would,
but exactly.
Someone's in 100 club.
I know. Yeah, he's played for Spurs. So he's probably a better place to talk about it than me, but. What Solanke has done is he's bought that work rate, hasn't he? Talking about work rate, like from your front man to be able to, he can put the ball in the back of the net and he can assist, but his work rate's phenomenal, Benny.
Do you know, and that's the thing. I mean, if you look at the two centre forwards that they've had, you look at Kane, who's for me one of the best on the planet, if not the best, and Solanke. It's going to sound kind of bizarre to say, but Solanke probably suits the system that Ange wants to play more than Harry Kane, because. Yes, he maybe doesn't get the same amount of goals, but off the ball, he works hard, he's big physical, he'll run in behind, use his pace.
He does that, he drops as well, he'll drop and get it, he'll spin round behind and get it, which drags all of them players out of
Even his vision for the goal, because I know a lot of centre forwards, the goal for Porro, would have just swiveled and tried to hit it.
Yeah.
He takes his time, rolls it back, and I've been really impressed. And I know his numbers maybe don't match up to the minutes that he's played, but I'm still a big fan of Solanke, as I always have been.
We can't not talk about Kulusevski, Watto. When we're talking about those boys, how good's he, man?
No, I think the front of the team is phenomenal, and you'd expect them to score goals. But what really impressed me, look, hey, it's tough to keep a clean sheet against Man City home or away, but they're missing the two centre halves in that game as well. So you know what I mean. And Ben Davies then slots in as well to come in and play at centre. And I know that Vicario had some big moments in that game, but to miss your two main centre halves in that game, but on the transition, and I think Solanke will be a miles better player, and I think Ange absolutely loves him because he comes into that Kane position, like you said, really deep, but he's got the engine and the legs to go the other way with it when he's played them clever passes now.
Yeah.
One thing I picked up on, obviously, watching all football at the weekend and watched Match of the Day and trying to listen to Micah Richards not going on Kyle Walker was, you could tell he was trying everything within his power to not really dig him out. But we were talking off camera, weren't we, Watto? And he's like starting position, he's almost like jockeying because he knows in his mind he can rely on that lightning speed. And Werner went past him like...
Yeah, look, I think
easily.
Kyle Walker, he's still a phenomenal player. He's had an unbelievable career, hasn't he? But he's got Werner where he wants him in that moment, and he thinks at that time there is no way that you're getting anywhere near me. But like Werner's no slouch, but he made him look on that one action slow. But time eventually can catch up with you. He's played a lot of football at the very pinnacle of it, internationally and obviously in Champions League and at the top end of the Premier League.
Fozzie, do you think he's best right back in Premier League history?
Yeah, I do.
Benty?
Yeah. I was about to say by some distance because probably a little bit disrespectful to Gary Neville. Kyle Walker, I think for England and for Manchester City for the last maybe 7-8 years has been incredible. He can't get past it.
Yeah.
He's been against some of the best wide players in Vinicius Junior or Mbappe, and he relishes those challenges. But I think now you're just starting to see maybe the decline in his pace because there was a time where he'd let you run down the channel because he thinks you've got no chance. But Werner's quick, but that would still never happen. He'd just get his arm across the line. Not let it happen.
He couldn't get close enough to even get the contact. That's the difference.
That's the bit then. So he's probably still got the top end. He'll still have the pace, but it's that acceleration. It's off the mark. It's off the blocks. Whereas he's always relied on that, and he hasn't got to worry about positionally being perfect because he knows he can he'll play. The beauty of having a Kyle Walker in his pomp is he can play right back, but he's also playing as a centre back at the same time. So the defenders can go forward. They can do whatever they want to do because they know that he'll just get back and help them out as well. Before we move on though, lads, quickly, San Marino put a tweet out after this game. Did you see it?
You showed me this morning, mate.
Unbelievable.
Cheek of him.
Basically, City, can we play you? Because I think we could beat you at this moment in time. San Marino, lads. They've won one and drew one in the last couple of games.
I think they've won 3 games in their history. And I think, that all 3 wins have come against Liechtenstein.
Nah.
I swear to you, check that. They've won 3 games in their history, and I'm sure all 3 were Liechtenstein.
Who were the bad teams originally? Was it Faroe Islands? They were
Faroe Islands,
yeah.
San Marino. Do you remember? Because we had to beat San Marino back in the day by 8 or 9, and they went 1-0 up after about
10 seconds.
20 seconds.
Yeah. I do. I remember it. Yeah.
Is that Righty score at?
Yeah, it was. That was the one where Righty scored.
9-1, but
yeah,
we needed to win
like
10.
No.
It was
We had to win 10-0 or something. We won 9-1.
Oh, mate. Right, should we move on then? Team who are top of the league, should we give them a bit of love for once?
Well, why don't we ask the former set-piece and goalkeeping wizard coach, Mr. Watson?
I thought, look, Southampton, they gave it a real go. The play, Russell Martin wants them to play. McCarthy's back in goal. I know him very, very well. And I thought he started the game incredible. He made 3 massive saves. But the one thing I think, when he's had it in his mind, he's back on the dance floor. The manager's telling us to play quick. And look, he should have never thrown it to him. Liverpool, they had the numbers to create massive pressure. And, the finish is unreal.
When you say, though, Watto, he should never have thrown it to him, he's got to. Because if he doesn't throw it to him, isn't he going to get a bollocking?
Well, I think the manager alluded to that a little bit after the game, but I think as a footballer, no matter what position you're playing, you can feel the game, you can sense it, and it's game management. Southampton, to be fair, most of the season have had better percentage numbers in possession. They didn't have against Liverpool because Liverpool dominated the game, even though Southampton tried to play how they always play. So at that moment, when you've got the ball in your hands, you think, right, I'm going to give my team a breather here. Game management, they've been in our half for 10 minutes, whatever. Let's just settle. And even if then somebody drops into play, but it's crazy.
You've got to sense it there and then. You've got to smell it. That's the bit there where you go, right, we've just been under pressure. I've already made a few worldy saves. Like, this is Liverpool, right? They want me to do this. They are setting a trap. They're laying a trap. And hopefully we fall into it. And it's exactly what he did. He's an experienced goalie. He's got to just go, lads, do one. Even if Russell Martin's on the sideline, screaming absolute pelters at him. No, sorry, Russell, I ain't doing it, mate. Get up the pitch, boom, give your team a break. Because I guarantee you, every one of those Southampton defenders is thinking, please just do it long, Alex, please.
Do you know as well, I thought, because he's an experienced goalkeeper as well. Yeah. And I was thinking about this when I was watching it, and he kept trying to do it, because even before they conceded, he got caught a couple of times before we tried to play it out. Yeah. And I just thought, well, even if you don't want to do that and just clear it, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're not going to play anyway because Ramsdale's the number one.
Exactly.
So it's irrelevant what happens. And it's not like there's an opportunity there to become the number one. Like, you're not going to play. No. So just do the right things. Yeah. Just do the basics and go, do you know what? I'm not playing here. Bang, I'm going to go up the pitch. Because like, what is the worst that's going to happen? You're going to go from not playing to not playing.
I get it. Yeah. It's lovely.
Do you know what I mean? It's not,
no, but like Russell Martin keeps telling them to do this. They're doing the same thing. It don't matter whether it's Liverpool, Ipswich. It's the same thing week after week. And unfortunately for them, the results are telling them it's not. And, you know, we'll go on to Leicester and Steve Cooper sacking. But if you're Russell Martin, they're 5 or 6 points ahead of you in the table. They're so many places above you. What happens?
Do you remember on like Champman back in the day? You could like, you had a slider of 0 to 100, right? And you would be like attacking, defending. You'd slide it to whatever style you'd want to be, right? I reckon he's got playing out from the back at 100. He slid it up to 100, right? And maybe if he just slid it down to 50, 40 or something like that, 60 even, I reckon Southampton would have a real genuine shot at doing something this season. They'd beat a lot of teams, they would.
I agree with you as well, but I almost feel like he's almost got caught in that Vincent Kompany syndrome, right? And it's an anomaly because Vincent Kompany got Burnley relegated, playing the exact same way, gets the Bayern Munich job.
Yeah.
I almost feel there's a little bit of Russell Martin thinking, well, do you know what? It's a little bit selfish.
Yeah.
So are you saying that he's gutted Pep's just signed 2 years?
A little bit, yeah. Do you know what? I'm not saying Man City, but I do think there's an element to Russell Martin thinking, well, do you know what? I'm going to play the exact same way because a better team with better players will appreciate the way that I'm trying to play.
I like it. Yeah.
And it's a bit poor on Southampton, and the owners have got to sense this because if you get to Christmas time, we know we're nearly there, and they're still doing the same things, still conceding the same goals, you've got a decision to make.
He's thinking another chairman might see me here doing this and go, I want that for my team.
100%.
I want that for my team.
He's steadfast in his philosophy. Yep. You know, that's the way he plays.
Even like a West Ham might go, do you know what? I know they're struggling, but with our team.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little bit selfish and it's a little bit unfair on Southampton, I think.
Liverpool, killing it, man. Like, did anybody see this? Did anybody see this at the start of the season? These are the games, right, that if you can win, are massive. Don't get me wrong, the ones where against Man City, like they got next week, they're obviously massive. But these are so tricky, these games. They're so tricky. Sunday afternoon, on the telly, really tough place to go.
Southampton at home, weather conditions like it is.
Oh, they're horrible places
and after that international break, it's not a good place to go, is it?
So, Fozzie, if they win next week, so Liverpool City next week, if Liverpool win next week, they'll be, 11 points clear of City?
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Mate, we've got to say, you can't see them stopping either, to be perfectly honest with you. I was watching this game and it was a good game, really good game, but I knew Liverpool were going to win. I just felt that Liverpool were going to win.
I've got the one derailer for them. You mentioned it just before we started this show. Salah, breaking news. They've not offered him a contract yet.
What?
Benty. They've got Van Dijk and Trent.
Can that be true? Can Liverpool not have offered Mo Salah?
100% they've offered him a contract, but clearly it's not what he wants now. Whether it's the money or whether it's the years, there's no one on the planet they've not spoke to him one word. They would have said to him, "We want to stay, obviously," but it's just. I think it comes down to years because you get to your 30s, and I know he's in supreme condition as we saw with the celebration. Yeah. I just think he might even want a 4-yearer.
Yeah.
And they're going, you nuts. You're 30, what is he, 32?
31.
Yeah. 31, they're probably going, you nuts, 4 years. And they're going, we'll give you 2. And that, I think, it's not the money. I think that's the stumbling block, the years.
Do you know what's interesting, though? Yeah. So before we started rolling, I made the comment and said, like, he's 31, give him 2 years, give him whatever money he wants, get him done. He's the most important one. And Benty said, no, he's not, VVD is. And Ben said, well, commercially, Trent's the most important one.
Yeah,
so it's almost a case of, because they've got 3 due up,
but that's my worry for them. Because I think as a football team at the minute, the new manager's come in and he's put his own little thing on, certainly in possession, more stuff, and they've kept Klopp's pressing and energy. But those 3 players in that position, is the main thing that can derail that football.
You can't replace them 3 players, lads. You can't. No amount of money can replace them.
Do you know what? So I agree with you to a point, but I think with the Salah situation, the numbers, like you'll never find anyone like Spurs can't replace Kane.
Yeah.
They can't. So but they've got attackers that if they go 10 goals, 10 goals, 10 goals, there's enough there.
Makes up for it.
Makes up for it. Connor Bradley coming in at right back is very good. He won't give you what Trent's done, but he's good enough. Virgil, you can't replace him because
You can't.
Konate and Kwanzaa are good centre arse, but Virgil van Dijk playing next to one of those makes them look 10 out of 10. You take Virgil out and just play them two, that's where I think they've got problems.
If only one of them stays and you take whichever ones you want, if you take 2 of them out of that team, that Liverpool team is nowhere near this team. They are nowhere near it. Next season, if you take 2 of them players out, they ain't going to be hitting these heights. They ain't going to be winning the Premier League like that. No chance on this earth.
If they win the Premier League, the interesting thing is now, because they're flying and points clear at the top, you do wonder and think, will they sign anything pre the end of the season? Will they stay and think, do you know what, if we win this, VVD's 33 years old, whatever, and I'm going to win the Premier League, see you later, I've done my bit, I'll take 500k a week in...
Oh, easy.
Saudi.
They'll all get that.
But see, I'm not sure. Mate, I think Mo Salah, because I think he's the one that they want in Saudi. He's going to be the poster boy. But I still think Virgil and Trent, I don't think those guys have got aspirations of going to Saudi. See, I can see both of them ended up at Madrid. Certainly more so Trent.
Yeah, without doubt. I think Trent's almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
Almost guaranteed. It's a perfect fit for him. It really is. He'll triple, quadruple his wages at Real Madrid. He's good mates with Jude Bellingham anyway. Imagine that, living in Madrid, bit of sun, bossing it every
Carvajal's getting on as well, so we'll go straight into that as well.
Yeah. You can't replace players like this, lads. I don't care. I know what you're saying about Bradley at right back, I know what you're saying about maybe the other players chip in, but there's no player on that right wing as good as Mo Salah in the world right now.
I'll give you that.
There isn't.
No,
and Virgil van Dijk. There's no central defender still probably in the world right now. There might be a few, but you're going to pay 150 mil for him.
But he's captain of the team as well. You can't let the captain go.
No.
Although Jordan Henderson left a few years ago, so
that's it, right. Remember when Jordan Henderson wanted that 2 or 3 year deal, didn't he? That was the stumbling block at the point, right? And I think that's what Mo Salah wants. I think he wants a 3-year deal for that bit of you know what I've done for you over the last 10 years is incredible. I've done this for you. So show me a bit of respect, give me a 3-year deal, put some trust and faith into me, and I'll repay it.
The problem is in theory, I don't think any Liverpool fans would begrudge him that and say, do you know, if we get 2 years of him absolute peak,
you're going to, you will do.
And then maybe in the last year, I don't think anyone would begrudge him that. But the problem is it sets a precedent. Yeah. And because they've got Trent and VVD, VVD's at 33 going, well, I'll take 2 years as well then.
Yeah. You know what, I almost wonder if they're, not so much Trent because he's got plenty of time, but say Virgil, because Alisson's coming up in a year as well, isn't he? If they're almost waiting for the first one to trigger a move, so like Salah goes, I want 350, so Virgil goes, all right, well, I want 400 then.
And that's how it works.
And Alisson then goes,
it's exactly how it works.
I need 400 as well. So I just wonder if they're waiting for the first one to make the move.
What about at the other end of the scale in terms of, but I'm sure he'll get a decent contract himself, Tyler Diblin.
Beautiful.
How good does he look, Penty?
Yeah, I like him. I really like him. 18 years old as well.
Yeah.
He's almost like setting his own standard. He's not allowing his standards to drop. Even though Southampton are struggling, he's still playing well. And all the top clubs, I mean, I'm hearing that already, all the top clubs are looking at him because he works hard, he's good in possession, he can travel with the ball, could score a good goal as well. But Southampton have been doing this for a while. Maybe it's started a little bit last few years, but I remember at a time, all the top youngsters, Bale, Walcott, Oxlade-Chamberlain, all coming through the Southampton kind of youth academy, and he seems to be the next one.
Yeah, it's. I think the beauty of him is, and the reason why all the big teams were looking, is just that he looks like he belongs. It looks like he's been doing this for years. It doesn't faze him, and I think that's a massive part of a young player.
Yeah, when you're young like he is, he obviously plays with no fear. He's got phenomenal qualities on the ball, but he can carry the ball, which is a big difference. Yeah. The one thing we spoke about at the start of the show is the energy and effort a Man United player puts in. The shift he put in, though, once or twice in that game when he tried the extra thing, obviously in the final third, which is fair play, but when he lost it, honestly, the effort to get back at 18, he's got the energy for sure, but it's about the desire to want to do that for yourself and your teammates.
It's the 25th of November now, lads.
Go on.
Right? I didn't realise, you guys told me, it's Christmas party season amongst football clubs, right?
Do you know why it's Christmas party season?
Because of the fixture list.
Because it's such a congested period, Christmas, and you almost want to get it out the way early doors. So a lot of Christmas party happen like early December. Late November's like, it's good going, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's some,
early, isn't it?
I think they wanted an extra one in there.
that's some really good planning. Like they're prepared if they're getting it in early doors. That's fair play to Leicester for that.
I texted the WhatsApp group last night and I said the breaking news. My lad said to me, Dad, he's been sacked. He's been sacked. And I texted the WhatsApp group and I said to the lad, what on earth has happened there?
Yeah, it's not a good look. Like, so they've just been beaten by Chelsea really comfortably as well at home, and apparently they've all flown off to Denmark. They've all had their Christmas do on the Saturday night, and all the pictures, all the videos, they've made it on their way to social media, as it does. The manager's been sacked. There's a sign going around saying, "I miss you, Enzo." It's a horrible look. It's a horrible look, isn't it, Benty? But honestly, they should have just cancelled it. They've got to just cancel the party. Simple as that, lads. Come on, we're struggling here. We've just been beat comprehensively. Yeah. Managers on the brink. Cancel it.
Yeah, it's not a good look. Yeah, that probably would have been the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, holding up that sign as well.
Oh wow!
I heard that the owners and the manager never really saw eye to eye. Even when they hired him, it was never really 100% relationship.
Yeah. The fans from the get-go didn't particularly.
But it's always a tough one, that Leicester Forest. I mean, it's as bad as it gets in terms of rival. You know, the Midlands rivalry, and I don't think they ever fell in love with him because Maresca did such a phenomenal job for him.
But I don't think they ever fell in love with him. Maresca.
No,
I think even there, at times they were a bit like, I'm not sure about him. And even if you go back to Nigel Pearson, he saved them, but they almost went off him.
They were happy to get rid, weren't they?
Won in the league, and it was like, you know what? Nah, time to move him on. So, but I like Steve Cooper. I always have done. I think he's a fantastic coach. The job he did at Forest was phenomenal. Yeah. And he'll get another job. But again, just for Leicester City Football Club right now, it's just not a good look. Battling relegation, sacking your manager, your players are out.
Why would they not do it before the international? I don't understand why they wouldn't do it before the international break and give them a week, 10 days.
I think if they were playing Chelsea away, if they knew they had Chelsea away after the international break, they'd have probably done it before the international break or when the international break started, because they'd have looked at that fixture and gone, we're not going to go to Stamford Bridge and get anything, are we? But being at home, they thought, maybe we can get something out of this. But I think it's the manner of the defeat as well. It was so easy for Chelsea at times. 2-1 kind of almost flatters Leicester a little bit, really. Chelsea in that first half had so many chances, completely dominated the game. Nicholas Jackson, Benty. Talk about him because you're a big fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I think he's getting better and better. He scored a lot of goals last season. I think he got 14 last year, but this year he looks like he's just a bit more composure in front of goal. Because I think if you look at last season, he'd go through quite a lot, couldn't really finish. But now, I mean, the 2 goals at West Ham, really nice finishes. The goal at the weekend against Leicester, fantastic little touch and outside of the boot.
Sorted his feet out again.
Yeah, beautiful finish. But I just think he gives you so much. And what you don't see maybe on camera is how many runs he makes. Like, he's always on the shoulder and they look at him and they don't really play it. He does get the passes every now and then, but for every pass he gets, he probably makes about 8 runs. It's scary how many times he's in there on the shoulder. But I'm a big fan of his, and I never spoke about, do they need to go and find another one? I don't think they do. I think they've got a good centre forward there. They've got Cunha on the bench. I think they've got more than enough firepower now to...
And do you reckon top 4?
Yeah, easily. They have to.
What do you reckon, Watto? Top 4?
I thought they might just fall shy of it a little bit, but I look at the other teams and I think actually he's got something going here, and the energy levels, and they're not affected by Europe as much as some of the other ones. We'll come on to Villa and such, but he's changed the team so much.
Yeah,
I think they're on full gas at the weekend. They won that game so easy. And to be fair, Leicester were probably lucky they didn't get a red card. I mean, I thought that tackle on Palmer...
It was awful, that one.
It's a red card, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just a red card. Yeah.
It's a red card.
One of 3 hits where the ball's gone, you go, do you know what?
Yeah.
Been chasing shadows for 10 minutes, have that.
Yeah. I'm going to give you a bit here. Yeah, it should have been a red. It
was quite a clear one, wasn't it?
Yeah, really.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Chelsea. They are. I think they're good for top 4. Just some of the players that are just in form now as well. We haven't even mentioned Caicedo. Like, what a player! Just Cole Palmer, just relentlessly does. Madueke, like big old players. And again, going back to the start of the season, we were almost ridiculing Chelsea, weren't they, for the amount of players they've got and midfielders they've got, and everyone was kind of eating a bit of humble pie.
I've got a question for you. The goalkeeper, Sanchez. See, I am not sold on him, but you're going to know more than I do.
Yeah.
The sag about him that he doesn't fill me with 100% confidence.
No. Too many... we've done so many shows, like Keeper's Corner things and talking about Chelsea, and too many goals go in that are too easy to go in as well.
And that might be the one factor for that top 4 for them.
He's a specimen. He's an athlete, and he can make some of the best saves you will see. And he genuinely, like, isn't he?
Yeah,
phenomenal.
He's got
Athletically,
the tools,
reactions, but just some of the goals go in. I just think no, like that can't go in that easily. No. They really can't go in that easily. And that's how I judge a goalkeeper anyway. Is I don't need to really look at the saves. I need to look at the goals that go in. Could you prevent those goals going in?
Yeah.
There's too many already. Too many already.
What about over to Arsenal then? So they're back to winning ways. Right, I've got a question for you all.
Benty's the Arsenal fan, so we.
Right, I've got a question for you. Bukayo Saka.
Yeah.
Fantastic player. Yes or no? I'm going to do a gold scene on you now. Yes or no? Is he world class?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
That's not yes or no.
Well, kind of isn't it?
Yeah,
He's on the cusp.
I accept that one.
I always look at world class, and I think so often nowadays we throw the world class tag out there so easy. Now I like to look at you can go and can you get in your position in the team in the world when he can't because Salah's ahead of him.
Yeah.
So
that should be the new ranking system. I totally agree with this, Benty.
Do you know what I mean?
This is the best way of doing it. You should be able to pick a world 11.
Shirt off. Who's got the best body?
Oh, yeah, that'd be tight one, that, actually. World 11, right? Are you the best player in a traditional 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 or whatever, yeah? Are you the best player in that position in the world? Then you're world class. And if not, then I'm sorry, for now, you're just going to have to work a bit harder.
Yeah, but then that's a difficulty because, again, so Ederson, world class goalkeeper. Alisson, there's two.
Yeah, goalie, it's different.
Sub-goal, we're allowed a sub-goal. So my other question was...
It's good, lad.
My other question was, right, why do defenders, or is it because Saka's so good at it, you know he's going on that left foot, you know he's coming inside, work harder to make him make a decision and cut back or make a pass? Because it seems like he's getting onto that left foot a little bit too easily, Benty.
It's hard, and unless you really overcompensate, and to be fair to Saka, what he's really good at is that, yes, he comes on that left, but now he'll go down the line with his right foot and just put one across. But you're right, unless you're so worried about like the 1v1 defending, like him going either way, and I think I would rather, I'm not a defender, but I would rather just show him down the line. Even if I overcompensate and he somehow gets to the byline and goes round me, I'd rather that than let him cut in from 12 yards.
You'd almost accept that though, wouldn't you, Otto? So you almost like accept and go, listen, if he gets down the line, gets one on me, swings it in with his right foot and his goal, okay, fine. But we know what he's doing on his left.
It's so hard when he's in the box because he's quick, he makes a great run, he gets the ball bang on the 18-yard line, plays a little 1-2 with Odegaard. But at that point, if you're a defender really and you think he's a bit too quick for you in the box, you've just got to say, look, you're not coming on that left foot. And you make him make another decision. Or if he's going to go on his left further, you're actually taking him away from... Because the angle you've put yourself in, he really has to come on his right foot and then everything should be a bit more predictable. But he's that quick.
Yeah.
That's the problem they have, and especially in the box. But I think he's just playing, and especially now Odegaard's come back, I think Odegaard makes him and them tick.
We'll talk about Odegaard in a second, but quickly just talking about that Saka goal in particular, the one where he's running across the 18-yard. But I almost think like the defending wasn't too bad for it because he's showing him across the 18-yard. But I'm thinking, like, just keep running. There's no way he can get the ball out of his feet, swivel, and get enough power to get that ball in the back of the net there. I'm thinking, I don't mind that too much. But he is so quick that when he does take that final touch to take the shot, the defender, I'm thinking, has to get across there and block it. But because he's too quick, you just can't do it. No. So I don't know what the answer is. I really don't know what the answer is.
Just show him down the line.
You've got to just show him on his right foot. But even then, like you say, with his right foot now, he's getting so much better at getting onto that right foot and still hitting the target with his right foot or cutting it back across. It's so hard to defend.
So Odegaard, is he world class now?
Odegaard's world class.
Is he world class? He's getting in your world 11, is it?
I don't know. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, Arsenal have missed him like you would not believe they've missed him. And he's shown in the last two games, he was out for 6-7 weeks. His first game back, he was just absolute dream. Took to it like he hadn't even been away. And then on Saturday, he's the guy. He is that guy, isn't he? He's the one that dictates. He's the one that gets everything popping and moving, and everybody feeds off it as well. He's huge for Arsenal.
And then obviously Havertz has been playing a lot, but we saw a stat earlier on that Jesus hasn't scored in the Premier League since January, I think. And I know that Arsenal play in a certain way, like Man City don't, where they there's a lot of goals throughout the team, but
we're in December next week, Benty. We're in December next week.
He just doesn't look sharp either. Like watching him play, and I think the reason why he doesn't get more minutes as well is that he's not disciplined enough to stay in his area.
Yeah.
So like, if you watch him play, he'll be going into in the number 10 spot. He'll be going out to the left, taking up Martinelli's spot, going over to the right, and I think that's why Arteta's like, no, I just can't trust you to stay there and do what we need you to do. But I think come end of the season, I think they'll probably move him on. I mean, I'd love the Arsenal to go and get Isak. That's the one that suits the profile for Arsenal, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. But I think
100 mil though, isn't it?
They're not selling him.
But maybe it might come down to Isak's got to go. Listen, if Newcastle finished 9th, then he might go, listen, Arsenal Champions League, come on, you're going to get a lot of money for me. But I think Arsenal need to move like Gabriel Jesus. There's a few, but unfortunately, I like Gabriel Jesus when he first came in. I thought, okay, here's the missing piece. And it just doesn't work.
No, it won't be in January. It definitely won't be in January.
No.
Big players like that just aren't moving in January. No. It's as simple as that. So it will be probably the summer, but I just don't know who you're going to get. Everybody wants that big central striker bad boy, and there's not that many about. Simple as that.
And just on the Partey goal, Watto, Thomas Partey goal. Yeah. Could Sells do a little better?
I think I was disappointed with him a little bit on the first. He's always moving and keeps pretty low in the goal. And look, you're always going to say, look, like Prowse is the nearest midfield player, isn't he? But Jesus or somebody made a good run inside that took Yates away. But then Prowse, instead of being sat in front of the centre half, he's got to get up to the ball. But at the point he gets up to the ball, he's close enough so that Sells really knows where it's going, you know what I mean? And I know he hits it well and everything. But I just think at the top level, if you're going to go and get a result at Arsenal, your goalie's got to do a little bit more.
Just a bit sharper. I think when you're playing against Arsenal, you expect it to be really sharp. You know they're not going to be necessarily shooting from like 40, 50 yards or anything like that. But when they do get that little chance on the edge of the 18-yard box, they're going to be taking it as quickly as you can. So you've got to be on your toes. You've got to be as big as you can, as long as you can. And I think just a couple of the guys, like say the Saka one in particular, he just sank a little bit low, which made it too difficult to get back up again. But Forest were just blown away. Absolutely blown away.
Forest have been classy
They've
season.
been absolutely brilliant, but
Arsenal
they were nowhere near it. Yeah, Arsenal were miles.
Another we've said this a few times today. Another Benty, another one of your old teams, Villa. How many Prem teams did you play for? 4? Spurs, Ipswich. Sunderland.
Ipswich weren't in the Prem back then.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Wow. Ipswich, Sunderland, Spurs, Tottenham,
Charlton.
Villa, Charlton. 6.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Fulham.
Bloody hell!
Forgot about Fulham. I was driving in this morning. I even remembered Burton. I remembered Derby.
Yeah, at the end, Fulham.
I'll tell you something now. That's the key to having a good career in media, isn't it? 1, be able to talk, and 2,
played for everyone.
Get him in. It's Benty's old team.
Yeah, that's what being a striker does.
You a chance,
Mate, being a striker, it's a doddle. You get moves all the time. Like score a few goals, and then they'll go, you fall out of the team or something. I'll just get moved to another team. Right? Everybody needs a striker. It's rubbish. It is, honestly. Easiest job in the world.
Your old mate, Fozzie, Ismaïla Sarr. So you were with him at Watford.
Watford, yeah.
He gave Villa the runaround at the weekend.
Yeah, his pace is he's one of the quickest accelerating player I've ever seen, actually, ever played with. And I thought he took his goal fantastically well. But I think one big thing for what he did for the goal is what all young players coming through need to look at and really learn from as well, is that because he knows he's got the pace, he knows that. But what he's done really well is he's got his body in front of the defender. Yeah. And as soon as you get your body in front of the defender has to hold up. He has to stop himself because he knows he's going to take you down and it'll be a red card. It's as simple as that. So he gets his body in front of the defender. That way he can really run into the space and exploit it. And that's I think a lot of players need to learn from that. But he took his goal fantastically well. But his acceleration,
I remember I used to go and watch him when you were at Watford all the time, and I always found him frustrating as a fan. Because one week, I remember, was it Liverpool away at Watford? And he scored the winner.
He gave them the run around a couple of times.
And he'd be a 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. And then the next week he'd be
go missing a bit.
4 out
It's
of
a
10.
Consistency thing, and I think that's the reason why. So I think he went off to France, didn't he, for a while, to Marseille, and that's the reason why. It's just that consistency. There was real talks about him getting a big move to Liverpool. I think Aston Villa were in for him for a bit, but it never materialised. And I think that the reason why is because he just didn't offer that 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 every single week. But that's the reason why players do make it or don't make it. If they can give you that, then everybody wants them.
No, that's fair enough. He is frightening on his day.
Very, very good, yeah.
What about the goalies, the old GK Union? I said to you off camera. So, firstly, Dean Henderson, is he nudging his way in as the number 2 for England now?
Well, look, he's playing consistently well in the Premier League, which is a massive thing. I mean, look, I always think for a goalie, a penalty save's a real bonus. But if you can obviously pull off a moment like that, and it were a decent penalty, to be fair to him, it's a good save.
Hey, he's done really well. He's attacked it really aggressively. It's
really
almost like
aggressive.
he's off his line when he's saving it.
Yeah. I thought that when I first saw him save it, I thought, they might have to have a retake
Yeah, I know.
because he was so aggressive
Really good.
to his left and his high. I thought it was a great save. Look, he's obviously had a good schooling at Man United, hasn't he? He's had some experiences going out on loan. He's kind of found a home now. Obviously, Palace sold Sam Johnson to your team, Wolves. So he's established himself as a number one. And if he can continue playing as he is now, look, I think Pickford is England's number one for sure. Phenomenal every time we have a tournament. But he needs to have some pressure put on him now, and obviously Henderson's doing that. But then you look at the other end of the field, that's where we all want to get to, because I would probably say at the minute this guy's the best on the planet.
Big Emmy Martinez.
I mean, it's phenomenal, the save he has to his left hand.
Benty, best goalie in the world at the minute, do you reckon? Top three.
Yeah, for sure.
Top
I mean,
three.
I think if they're all fit, I'd probably still edge Alisson as the best. But Martinez, I mean, winning that goalkeeper of the year twice in a row, World Cup winner, big saves in the World Cup.
Big saves at big moments.
At big
as well,
moments.
yeah.
Yeah, for me, probably right now we would be.
Yeah.
But it's such a difficult one.
Yeah.
Because I still like Alisson.
Mate, the save he made on Saturday onto the post, down to his left-hand side, there's not many goalies make that, Watto, is there?
No.
He's just so big. But because he's so big, you normally have to forgo a bit of the agility or the reaction
but he's
speed.
got the
but he
power,
can still do
agility.
it, can't he?
It's a phenomenal save. And to be fair, I think, and I'm not being disrespectful to Villa here, I think they're very lucky to have a guy like that in the sticks, because I think he is that good. I think he could go and play at most teams. And you look at Villa now, the Champions League, is it really having an effect? What's that? No wins in 6 Premier League games, because the start that had, obviously, phenomenal. And it's trying to, because they're in that Champions League now, they want to keep this group of players. They can't drop out of it again if they're going to compete year after year after year to get close with the big boys.
It's the same with Newcastle when you said about Isaac, isn't it? They've had a taste of a Champions League, Newcastle. But if they're back out again, then Isaac could turn around and go, listen, I want my move, because once we were in, we were meant to be back in.
Yeah.
But with Villa, when they beat Bayern Munich, wasn't it? Like you've said in the past, Ben, when you won the League Cup final with Blues, what that emotionally did to the team, and they've had big nights in Europe against Bayern Munich. And who have they got this week? Juve
on Wednesday.
I mean, the whole club is going to be alight with emotion and excitement, and then it's back to Premier League. And then if they haven't won in 7...
No, mate, it takes it out of you. Like, how good a fixture is that, by the way? Villa versus Juve at Villa Park. It's class, isn't it?
That's unbelievable. And that's, as you were saying, that's probably going to be the problem, is that they've probably got one eye on the Juventus game, while the Palace game was even before the Palace game,
definitely.
For that. So to get your emotions up for the Palace game, you're a bit like, then you go Juventus, you go, here we go.
Yeah.
To come back down, and even if you're playing like who's a good side in the Premier League, but say they're playing Newcastle, still a big side, but it's not Juventus, is it?
No,
so
it's
you'll be
not,
like, can we go again? So I don't fear for Villa this season because they've got a great manager, but for them to then finish back-to-back top 4, that's going to be tough.
Yeah,
that's going to be really tough.
Big ask. I don't think any Villa fans would want to change it, though, because they've got Champions League football.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Look, what a season this is going to be for them, regardless. As long as they finish top 10, I think that will do for Villa this season. Don't get me wrong, they want to finish top 6. Mate, look at the teams in that top 8 now in the Premier League.
I know, but if you're a Villa fan, that ain't going to wash coming top 10.
Top 10, that's a lot of defeats.
Right, I'm gonna get the.
Where are Villa?
I'm gonna get the teams, down in front of me, lads.
Eighth.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
So,
Prem stack.
Right, so apart from Liverpool, who are absolutely killing it, you got Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Brighton are on level on points with them. Yeah, are Villa realistically going to catch up with Brighton?
Yeah, yes. Should do.
Okay, Tottenham.
Yes.
Newcastle. Yeah. Man United still hopefully going to come back into it as well.
Yeah, man.
I think the point is like they're only 2 or 3 points off, right? But it's the top 4, right? You look at the top 4, and it is so competitive.
Yeah.
Top 8 is, lads. The top 8 in the Premier League now.
Yeah, but it's about Champions League, isn't it?
Gosh.
For teams like Villa, like Spurs, it's about the Champions League.
I think Villa's aim at the start of the season shouldn't be to finish in the top 8. It should always be top 4. Now, top 4.
Without doubt.
But it's going to be difficult because, as I said, there's good teams up there, but there's a difference between playing the Europa Conference League last year and now Champions League.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
But we're saying that, aren't we? Like we asked you earlier, do you think Chelsea? You said yes. So we're basically saying, whichever order it is, Liverpool, City, Arsenal. There's 6, 7, 8 teams, 5 and 1 of that coveted Champions League spot. It's brutal league. Brutal.
Right, if Brighton were to play Aston Villa tomorrow, who would you reckon is winning?
Where is it?
All right, one at Brighton, one at Villa.
Villa.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
No, I'm not sure.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think so.
I'm going Villa.
Arrange it, Ben.
You absolutely nailed me with my Brighton shout then.
Did you? Oh my God!
If Brighton get into the Champions League, It is one hell of an achievement.
I don't think they're getting a champions. What I'm saying is, Brighton, I would back to beat anybody on their day. I really would.
Oh, yeah.
I really, really would. But I just don't think Villa at this moment, I don't think I could back them to beat anybody on their day.
But again, is this it's the Champions League thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Surely. We've seen it time and time again. And as a football fan over the years, I've kind of gone, what? I've been a bit dismissive over it because you go, what? Like, it's another game, it's Champions League.
The emotional toll.
But even for the fans,
isn't it?
Even for the
it's
fans.
the emotional roller coaster of it. It's high, high, high. It's the best, like, biggest competition. And then it's boom, back down, recover, let's go.
Do you know what, even on a lesser scale, it's like playing against Man United on the Saturday and then the following Saturday having Burnley.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's the same league, you're a little bit like,
Oh, yeah, sure.
Burnley. No.
Tottenham lost at Ipswich a couple of weeks ago, got pumped, yeah?
Yeah.
Beat Man City 4-0 at the weekend, all right? Emotional roller coaster, lads.
100%.
It's mad, it shouldn't come into it, but it does. It's human nature.
It's
lads.
human nature.
It's human nature.
And I think that Champions League tap is a big tap for teams that are not relentlessly,
Yeah.
year after year,
In it.
always in it.
Yeah.
And what about, we were talking off camera, Fozzie, about, sounds such a stupid thing to say, but there's some really good players in the Prem at teams that aren't the big boys. So look at this next game, and Brighton, are they a big boy now? Don't know.
They're a very good team.
They're a very good team, but look at that Bournemouth and Brighton game, and we said like Semenyo, right?
Oh, what a
and
player.
Joao Pedro.
Even Baleba in mid. I know he got a red card, but
Harsh, by the way.
very
harsh.
There's nobody else on the planet basically giving a red card there.
No,
only
it's not a red card.
only the ref
Why
and
didn't he
VAR
come
or
off?
whatever.
I mean, he barely broke stride, didn't
It
he?
was nothing. It was nothing.
Nothing.
Honestly, nothing.
But you could build a genuinely unbelievable team out of these kind of unfashionable teams, couldn't you? What the individual players we've mentioned, like, oh, you could build an absolute worldie. So I reckon we'll talk about Wolves in a bit, Cunha as well. Like players that could go for realistically either in January or in the summer, 60, 70 million quid, couldn't they?
Joao Pedro.
67 million quid.
You were at Watford with him and he looked like a player
Yeah.
then, but he was young and he was a bit inconsistent.
Yeah.
Now, firstly, he looks like a big, strong bloke.
He always has been strong, to be fair. He's just his stature was a bit smaller, but now he does look like he's growing
It's
into
the
his
goal,
body
though.
more. Yeah.
So he's like poached the goal,
Yeah.
sharp as a razor for the goal.
Kepler should have done a bit better, I think, to be honest with you, mate. He can't pop it out there. He can't pop it out in that little
But he's
spot
got a
there.
sniff.
But Joao's on it.
Centre forward.
Yeah,
isn't he?
Joao's
He's got
on
a
it,
sniff.
yeah.
You get a chance.
Yeah, Joao's on it. Yeah, he's grown. He's blossomed, is what he's done.
But then
yeah.
the
He's blossomed
assist
beautifully.
for, who was the...
Mitoma.
Yeah.
Mate, what I love about Joao is he looks like a 9, but he looks, when he's a bit deeper, he like plays 10.
He likes to do everything, even at Watford. Like I think that was the bit that annoyed the managers quite a lot of Watford is we wanted him up there,
Yeah.
but then he would go out on the wing, and then we always thought, well, we don't even know where your best position is here. We played him out on the right wing for quite a while as well. But he's got everything, and it's his attitude as well. He's a little rat. He's a dirty little. Honestly, he's brilliant. He has got absolutely everything. Any team in the Premier League will want him playing for him because of that work rate. You know you're going to get an absolute session from him every single game. Yeah, great player.
Talked about Joao Pedro and then Watto Semenyo, last kick of the
It
game.
was last.
Well, it made me laugh because obviously Kepa comes up and he's smaller than me, I think, and he goes up and wants to put a bit of pressure on the goalie, and the ball comes. It's a great header. I don't know who headed it out for Brighton, but I thought, oh, that's some header.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it's well, to be honest, it's a great contact. He's very unlucky in it.
Yeah.
He couldn't hit it any better than that. But like Brighton defended relatively well for a large period of the time, and honestly, I think there's just something happening there where they could get into that top 4. I think they've got the quality.
This is why
But
I'm
if
buzzing
they
off Brighton.
could do that, that would be
This is why I'm buzzing off
absolutely
Brighton.
unbelievable.
Bournemouth is a ridiculously hard place to go, yeah? Ridiculously hard
Another
place to go.
unbelievable manager at the level.
Exactly. So it's a fantastic result for Brighton because they just eke it out. But moving on, another ridiculously hard place to go is Fulham, yeah? And for Wolves to, well, obviously 4-1 kind of maybe flatters them a little bit in the end.
Only due
got
to the
too late.
circumstances in
Flatters
the
them a
last
little
10
bit at the
minutes.
end. But what a result this is, by the way.
Mate, they're my boys. Phenomenal. Did you play with Gary O'Neill?
Under 21 level, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
When he was at Portsmouth and I was
Good guy?
yeah, really good guy, really good. Always wanted to be a coach, always wanted to be a manager.
Really?
Yeah, always. Had that about him. And even the route he took to get the manager's job was kind of a little bit all over the place. A little bit of time at Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think he spent a bit of time, not Northampton, but maybe... was MK Dons, I think he spent a bit of time at as well. But he's listen, I've liked Wolves. Even when they struggled at the start of the season, you could still see signs that they could play and that they get it right. Yeah. But now, I mean, as you said there, you mentioned him earlier, Cunha. I mean, he is phenomenal. Talk about the best players outside that kind of top 6. He's in the mix. He probably would be the best. I think he's got the lot.
Yeah, for sure. And I think if Spurs wouldn't have done what they did at City, this was the standout performance of the week by far, because Fulham, Silva, another amazing manager, they're a tough place to go, Craven Cottage, and obviously went 1-0 up as well.
Well, yeah, it was a cracking goal from Iwobi, wasn't it? He's playing some good footy, but I've got to thank the old Wolves old boy, Raul Jimenez. Did you see that miss?
Oh, stinking, weren't it? Stinking. But Fulham had chances early doors as well, but it goes to show all that matters really is putting the ball in the back of the net. It's as simple as that. What do you make of Joachim Andersen going down injured, lads? I'm not a fan of it. He's almost let his team down a little bit there, hasn't he?
Well, the worst element of the game is, and that's why it flatters Wolves a little bit, but that's not to take anything away from the performance. Silva obviously didn't want to get beat in that game because Wolves are obviously near the bottom and he'd made his 5 subs. So, I think in these situations, medically, the physios and doctors will have said, that's it, but... Yeah, it's a little bit.
He carried on though. Do you know what I mean? Like, say,
I remember Wayne Rooney coming back on once.
Yeah, but
so it's obviously a different.
I just think at that point in time, you've got to go. You know what? We're struggling now. I've just got to suck it up. Get up.
Well, stand up front. Do something.
Yeah. Just stand on be an extra body. Yeah. But I'm just glad that Wolves stuck with Gary O'Neill, Benty. I think Michael Brighton was on a couple of weeks ago, and he said, "Hate to see managers get the sack." And to be fair to Wolves, they could have pulled the trigger because the form was like on the back end of last season wasn't good either. But and I know that they're just marginally above the relegation zone at the time of shooting this video, but I'm pleased they stuck with it.
I think the reason why is because you've seen signs, even the games that they've lost, you've seen signs 20 minutes here, 40 minutes there, where they play some really nice stuff. So to sack, if they're playing like West Ham Lopetegui, I can understand why he's under pressure because they're
playing tonight, by the way. Big game for them tonight.
But Wolves all of the time have played some good stuff and unfortunate in games, VAR decisions going against them. So I like the fact they've stuck with him as well. And I do think Wolves will finish probably 12th, 11th, something like that. I think that'll be a good season for Wolves.
Very good.
It's bonkers, really, that after 10 games, they were rock bottom, had 1 draw, and now they've won the last 2 games.
Unbeaten in 4.
They're like 5th from bottom or something like
Unbeaten
that. That just
4.
shows how tight it is.
We haven't mentioned Lemina's pass, though, for the Cunha goal.
Wow.
What a pass. But like O'Neill actually said after the game, because now Cunha comes in and sucks them in and he's prepared to go that way, and if you've got somebody of the quality of Mario Lemina, I mean, it's a great pass.
Goal. I mean, that one over the top. It was that.
It's Bergkamp.
It was Bergkamp, wasn't it? And then the second one, he's just as the ball's coming to him, he's had a look and perfect.
Do you know that first one as well? Because of the technique and the confidence he's got in his own ability, he's brought it down. Most centre forwards in that position would just hit it first time. Because I think I would have just tried to go with a side foot lefty back where it come from, which might be more difficult. But he just composed, calm, lovely finish.
Sorry, lads, the dog was trying to chew the new carpet down there below.
Ned.
We don't want that.
Ned's on a yellow. You're on a yellow, lad.
Right, come on, we've got a quiz in about 2 minutes' time.
Have to do Everton, haven't we?
Because that's all it's going to take to go. Do you know what? Again, it was 0-0, but it was a good game. It was a very good game. Lots of chances. Everton cannot have this many chances and be a man advantage against a team at home and not go and win the game. For a team like Everton, these are the games they have to win because we've got their next 5 fixtures at their.
Well, that's what we were saying earlier. The result looks bad when you play against a team who are down to 10, but it's what comes next in the Premier League that hurts you, because I think you were saying, Tom, they're only 3 points above the bottom now, and potentially might get nothing out of them, and then it's a different ball game. So it is a home game against Brentford, and Brentford are another phenomenal team, great manager, but it's one you have to put down as a 3-pointer for you. But when the circumstances fall in your favour and the opposition get a red card, you can't miss chance after chance after chance like that with the run of fixtures posted.
Can we talk about that red card? Was it Lundstrom, wasn't it? Yeah.
Norgard.
Sorry.
Norgard.
It was a strange one, wasn't it? Because he's absolutely clattered him. But
he's gone for the ball, but do you know what it is? It's one of those where he's gone for the ball, he's out of control, and yes, it probably is a red card, but like it's obviously not intentional. The ball, he's watching the ball and he does that. But then when you use, and this is where VAR, it's a little bit black and white, because when you look at it and you freeze frame it, it looks disgusting. It looks awful, but in the grand context of the game, you go, is it a red card? Really?
Yeah, it's exactly.
But this is where we have the debate, isn't it? And I agree 100%.
Yeah.
But when you see the same image on Palmer's Achilles, it's a red card.
I know.
And even Lallana, we didn't allude to it, but that could have been.
It should have been.
So all 3 of them on a still image
look horrendous.
Yeah.
But isn't this where you need somebody in that VAR room that's played the game at a good level that goes, common sense has to prevail there.
No, do you know why? Because
Or is it the rule is the rule is
because
the rule?
it flies in the face of what they're trying to do. Is that the rules are the rules, yeah. So it doesn't matter if you've played the game and you might be able to see a slight little nuance on something or a little bit and understand what it's like to be. It doesn't matter. They want it to be black and white. That the rule is a rule, and it's as simple as that. I wrote down in my notes about the red card. I put it's a red card, but it's not a red card, and that's
And that sums up the game, doesn't it? That's the game. That's the game.
the best way of saying it. It's a red card, but it's not. But it is, and I understand it. So quickly, sorry, just talking about Everton's next fixtures: United, Wolves, Chelsea, Arsenal, City. Wow.
Tough fun again.
They'll probably get 3 against United, but then nothing from the rest of them. But I think both teams will be absolutely fine this season. You said earlier about Sean Dyche. You said you think he's doing a wonderful job at Everton, considering the team that they've got.
I look at the starting 11 and I genuinely look at it and think there's some good players in there, and then you look at the squad and you think that is one of the thinnest squads in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And he is doing a phenomenal job, in my opinion. I think they'll have enough to stay up. I really do. But I just think, unfortunately, he is kind of like that specialist Dyche, isn't he, of keeping him up. But he sometimes doesn't get the credit that he deserves.
Do you know what, I do fear for him, though. Like, if the takeover happens, they're going into the new stadium, they stay in the Premier League next season, the new owners, are they going to, and this is no disrespect to Dyche, because I agree with you, I think he's a specialist. Do you really want to watch that football going into a new stadium with the new owners? Is that what you want your club to be? Probably not. So I think maybe there might be a change in the summer, potentially.
There might be a guy at Southampton who might play some nice football.
Do you know what I mean?
Amazing.
I even heard Jose's name mentioned.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Ancelotti ended up there, didn't he? So, never know. You know what time it is, Watto?
Quiz time.
The world famous.
Come on.
I don't know if Foz is close to the. Look, I feel like,
Fucking.
They aren't going to.
You got to watch him.
yeah, honestly.
Always got to watch him, the lad.
Exactly. You're all right, my side. I need glasses.
Right, go on then, Jim. Intro.
Right, we are back with the football fill-in quiz. We have got 10 questions. We all know the rules, yeah? Yep. Fastest finger first, but
Just shout out.
there's a new rule that if everyone gets it wrong, I'll go all back in and you can...
Not
if I say
all
the
the
wrong
time.
answer, I'm out.
You're out,
Yes.
yeah, you're out.
Unless we all get it wrong.
Okay, cool.
Then you're back in.
Then you're back in, yeah. Well, until I say so.
Yeah, sorry, until the referee calls it.
Question 1. Matthias De Ligt joined Manchester United
Ajax.
from what
Juventus.
club?
Bayern Munich.
No, correct.
How have you got that wrong,
You've got to be
man?
quick, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got. Do you know what? God.
1-0 to Ben.
Is it Bayern?
Yeah.
What's it
You
worth?
just got to be quick, in you. And then all of a sudden your brain kicks into gear and think, oh.
Question 2. Petr Cech and what other goalkeeper have won the most Premier League Golden
Peter Schmeichel.
Gloves?
De Gea.
Before. No.
Van der Sar.
No.
Can you repeat that?
Petr Cech and what other goalkeeper has won the most Premier League Golden Gloves with 4?
Joe Hart.
Correct.
It's either going to be that or Edison. Boom. Joe Hart used to win it every year, lads.
Yeah, Manchester
Don't
City.
like this.
Come on, the English.
Say a bit fishy about this guy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
lads.
Yeah.
Question 3 is a who am I question.
Who am I?
Yeah.
Jamie.
That's not the answer. You're out.
Yeah.
I have been on the Fozcast and I have scored over 50 goals in the Premier League. I have only played for 3 clubs and all of them have been in the Premier League. I'm also currently on loan to a club who is currently in the top 10 in the Premier League. I'm also well known for my set pieces.
Prowse.
Prowse is the correct answer. I'm going to give it to Watto.
Yes, I love that,
Because
Jamie.
it was Watto.
Yeah, exactly, Tom.
Honestly, I'm all over
His name's
I
Ward
don't think I've
Prowse.
spoke yet.
James Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, he's a Prowse.
Yeah, but...
It's
Yeah, but
look,
he knows him
shut up,
personally,
shut
don't
up.
Question 4. Who is Everton's top goal scorer so far
McNeil.
this season?
Dwight McNeil.
McNeil.
Dwight McNeil.
Oh, come on, you.
Hey,
you-
come on.
No,
I think
no,
you'll say Prowse and I can't get it, all right? You ain't
yeah,
getting it.
it's good.
Oh, Watto's on fire.
So
Was it
scored
2-2?
Hey,
2-2.
we'll just put it out there. A Sunday of no drinking for me yesterday.
Proud of you,
Never
mate.
been known.
Only
Never
had
been
a
known.
week in Tenerife.
Well, very nice.
Locked in today, aren't you, why?
Locked in, mate.
Question 5. What club was Marco Silva's first club that he
Hull
made?
City.
Watford.
It was Hull City. Did you say Hull City?
Yeah.
No!
Oh,
Me?
Hull City.
I ain't spoke yet.
You can't go whitewash. Whitewash is
If
the
you have another
worst.
round of coffees, besties.
Honestly.
3-2, why?
2016-17 season, that was.
Getting this one, I know that.
Question 6. What over 3-2 lead? Which Spanish centre-back has with over 100 caps Signed for Manchester
PK.
United for 4 seasons during the 2004-08 season. Gerard Piqué. Correct answer. 3-3.
I'm all over it.
Oh, we don't want to shut out.
Question 7. What was the last club trophy that Aston Villa manager Unai Emery has won?
Europa League.
Europa League's the correct answer.
Sevilla.
Yeah.
Come on.
Didn't he
Villarreal.
do
Villarreal.
2 in a row?
Beat United,
2 or 3
beat
in a row?
United, yeah,
Three in
they
a
did,
row,
yeah.
well,
Etienne
in a row.
Capoue played.
Yeah.
Etienne Capoue
Pens.
played in that.
No, you're in, mate. You're in.
You're in.
Penalty shootout.
Yeah.
De Gea missed.
Was that the one De Gea missed? Yeah, it was on pens.
Yeah, it's the one De Gea missed.
Oli Gunnar.
Yeah.
Solskjaer.
Yes, it was.
Question 8. So Tom on 0.
Thanks, Jay.
Ben on 3.
Just what you wanted to hear, that one.
Watson on 3. Benty on 1. Question 8. What was the last Premier League club Robbie Fowler played for?
Leeds.
No, it wasn't.
Man City.
No.
What did he go? No, it wasn't. Tell us who it was.
I can relax that for a minute.
What was the last Premier League club Robbie Fowler played for?
So I remember.
You haven't answered, have you?
I know.
No.
I know.
Who did you say?
I said Leeds.
Who did you say?
No, don't tell him, because he's trying to narrow his clubs
I know
down.
Manchester City was one, but that's not the answer, by the way. I'm just
No,
going.
it's fine.
His last one he played for Robbie Fowler was.
Got to be a countdown.
Fulham.
No.
Got to be a countdown soon.
Oh,
I don't know
Bentley's
the answer to this.
Got to be a countdown soon.
give me-
5. 4. 3.
him with Man City.
No, he
I said
No,
Man
no,
City.
Are we back in? Are we back in?
We're all back in.
Cardiff.
Not Cardiff, not Liverpool.
I could have swore it was Cardiff.
What was the last Premier League club Robbie Fowler played for?
Portsmouth.
No.
That's a good shout, that, because honestly, everyone plays for them.
Good
Yes,
question.
that's real.
Good question.
What was the last Premier League club Robbie Fowler played for?
West Ham.
No. All back in. Do it another
Where
round.
there?
Do you know what?
It wasn't.
Can we get a little clue? Like, are they in the Premier now?
No.
It wasn't
Do you
Liverpool.
want to
Was
play?
it?
No.
I said Liverpool. He said that. He's out.
Yeah, you're out. Yeah, Liverpool.
Premier
Not
League.
Liverpool.
How many Premier League teams is there?
Hold on, what am I thinking? Fowler. What, Chelsea? Wait.
5.
Everton.
No. 4.
I was going to say that, but I thought he's never going to cross
Everton,
it.
was it?
2.
Forest.
No. 1.
Southampton.
Blackburn Rovers.
Oh my God.
I don't remember him there.
Yeah.
don't remember
3
that
games
at
for
all.
Blackburn
No,
Rovers.
I don't remember him there.
Yeah.
For all the football knowledge that's going to have come out in this quiz, we're going to get dogs abuse for that.
Nah, I think that's well hard.
That was a long time ago, and yeah.
Sorry, lads.
Anyway.
question, Jack. Like it.
do, Jimmy.
Was a good
yeah.
question.
Question 9, a career path question. Like Ben.
He does.
I have played for Manchester United, Leicester City loan, Derby County loan, Blackburn Rovers loan, Burnley loan, Burnley and Everton.
Michael Keane?
McNeil.
Keane's the correct answer.
DB. Wow, go on. Come on, Michael. DB sneaker freak.
DB sneaker freak.
Making the comeback,
freak, Ned.
Oh my God.
At the end, there.
3-3-2.
If Benty gets this
3-3-2.
right,
No.
it goes to a tiebreaker.
A 3-way tiebreaker.
We had that last time.
Nick it, so it's a...
We had it last time.
Question 10. Jordan Ayew scored a last-minute winner versus Chelsea at the weekend, but what nation does he play for?
Ghana.
Hold on, the question's wrong. Last minute winner. They lost.
Last-minute goal. Sorry, last-minute goal.
I see.
Yeah, that threw me.
Yeah,
I was too busy focusing on the result.
100%, me too.
All right,
Yeah.
should we go? Should we do another question?
Yeah, because he got that right.
He got it right, yeah. We'll give it to you anyway.
Oh my God.
That threw me, the winner. I thought,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he
What did you
worded
say,
that
Ghana?
so bad.
Sorry.
So
Question.
does that not count?
Yeah, you'll get the point, but we're doing an extra one just because it's nice.
Okay.
Technically a tiebreaker between you two.
3, 3, 2, 1.
I'll just have a snog with Ned.
That's better, mate.
Question 11. Former Manchester United keeper David De Gea currently plays.
Fiorentina.
Yeah.
Fiorentina the correct answer.
Do I take it with
You
that?
Take the win.
Do I take it with that?
Most
Oh.
clean sheets in Serie A, I think.
no chance of that.
Yeah.
Didn't know where he was at.
You were miles off at you with that as well. The whole quiz, in fact.
Well, he came back. He got
Really good, yeah. Michael Keane one's phenomenal.
Yeah, that was good, that.
Loans for fun.
I thought you were going to say Darren Gibson, but he went to Salford, didn't
Darren Gibson, I like it. Oh, I know. Well done, Benty. Appreciate that. Thank you. You're incredible. Watto, phenomenal. Tom, brilliant. Jamie, Ned. Ned
World
was good.
class.
Ned was world class.
Ned, you weren't bad either, mate. Well
On
done.
a yellow though.
Yeah, he's got on a
He
yellow.
was on a yellow for
chewing-
nibbling the
chewing
carpet,
the new
yeah.
carpet. Right, thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week. All the best.